Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Action Popcast. I am Nick APD, and to the side of me, I'm switching this round. It's nothing about being in charge, Kat. It's just that's weird.
It is weird.
That feels really weird. And to the side of me is Kat OnlyVadersgirl, our Kat. So, before I get into saying hello to some people in the comments section and saying what tonight's stream's about, and I'm pretty sure we all know what tonight's stream's about. The big clues right behind us. Kat, how are you? How has your week been? How is life? Fill us in, as Craig David would. You probably don't get that reference.
No, I don't. But it's been really crazy lately. A lot of stuff has been going on with the family, but I'm here. I'm excited. I absolutely love this movie. And I love our guests even more. So I'm excited.
Ah, yes, we have a guest this evening, a special guest. She's hiding in the back, but should we say hello to a few people in the chat before we bring the good lady in?
Yes.
That's it. But the thing is, I can still see her on the screen. She's chewing her nails like this. She's all nervous. She's like that. Oh, she's doing Macaulay Culkin face.
Don't lie.
Well, actually, she's chugging back a massive pint. There we go. Anyway, before we get into any more of this, I just want to say hello to everyone who's shown up this evening. For our first person show up this evening was Keith Knight. He says, "Hello, Nick." Hello, Keith. How are you? We've also been joined by a long time ago, Martin. He says, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." I believe he knows. He knows our guest.
He does.
Very well.
Yes.
Very well indeed. We have also been joined by TJC. He says, "Evening all." Evening, TJC. And DTM Collectibles. Evening, Nick, Steph, Kat, and all in the chat. Hello, DTM. Good to see you. Manga Fandanga's also joined us. Our Sai. Hello, Sai. Good to see you, mate. Who else have we got in? I'm sure there was more. There is. Adam, the real toy dude. Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for joining us this evening. We've also been joined by Ricardo. Good to see you, Ricardo. Thanks for popping along. And we also have the lovely Georgie Norris. Hello, Georgie. Thank you for joining us. Oh. And we mustn't forget Pete. Pete's Toys and Tings. Hello, Pete. How are you, mate? Hello. And I'll say hello to other people as they pop in this evening. So, Kat, do you want to... So I can have a vape. Do you want to tell everyone what the stream's about, just in case they don't know what the stream's about?
Absolutely. We are going to dive into the amazing 1990 show or movie Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin. I absolutely love this movie. I mean, I don't know anybody that has ever gone meh with Home Alone. I mean, it still, after all these years, like, it's an amazing film, and I'm happy to hop to it and talk about it.
It is an absolutely amazing film. I'm just going to check something on my phone because I was convinced I saw Jojo in the chat. And I did. Show. I don't know why. For some reason, and I can only apologise, Jojo. You must have said something rude in a comment at some point because StreamYard won't bring up your comments.
Oh,
what is going on with that? But I know, Joe. Here she is. There she is. Sorry about that, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
It just gets me a bit worried because recently we've had some real problems with blooming StreamYard not showing people comments and stuff. And I've also got to say hello to the lovely Helen, Mrs. DTM. Hello. Actually, that makes sense because there was a comment that was withheld and Joe typed down, it was nothing rude, but YouTube and its randomness for what it thinks is rude and offensive must have deemed that Joe... I mean, Joe's not a rude person, YouTube. Behave yourself.
I mean, only in the background. No, I'm kidding.
Adam says, "I did say hello, all you filthy animals, and YouTube won't show it, lol. Said it at the start." Well, there we go.
Oh, see?
But apparently, Home Alone is quite the divisive subject. But anyway, you've given a little introduction about what tonight's show's about. I've waffled about the joys of the tech wonders of the internet. but we have got a special guest, very special guest. But
Yes.
I was very lucky to meet up with this lady and her good husband last Saturday. And they're an
Awesome.
absolutely lovely couple. And we went to the pub and we had lunch. And the one thing that struck me when we were in the pub was, it's Stephanie Long who's coming on. We've all figured this out. She's a lady. We all call her Lady Steph. She's a really lovely, polite lady. But I'm gonna reveal something this evening.
No.
Oh, chugging the pints back there, and look at Martin.
It kind of looks like he's saying, "I just said a sip."
Yeah. She was just having a little sip of Martin's Guinness, and that's it. Boom, she chugged it back. So there we go, from lady till her death. And on that note, because I'm sure she absolutely hates me now,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in. So everybody in the chat, please, can you all say hello? I mean, you can put your hands together. We won't hear it because of the internet, but please virtually put your hands together for our one and only, the Lady Stephanie.
Hey, you filthy animals. How you doing?
Hey, Steph, how are you doing?
Oh, it's all lies. It's all lies. No chugging going on here.
I'm sorry, but the picture speaks otherwise.
Your hubby's face says otherwise.
It's Martin's face.
I still love you. But
Thank you. It's Martin's face that says it all, really, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good day. That was a good lunch.
That was a good day. It was a good lunch. And I'll tell you what, I was really excited because I ordered my meal. Jojo was there. Martin was there. See Steph, myself, a chap called Alan Dawson. We all know Alan Dawson. He pops up in the chat. And obviously Adam. Yes, I'm getting there. I'm not going to forget Adam. I'm not going to forget Adam. I promise, Adam. I'm so sorry. I'm not forgetting you. I was getting there. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought now. What was I going to say? We were all sat there and we were chatting and it was lovely. And we had a great time, and I've completely lost my train of thought.
Oh,
so
sorry,
there we go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. No, it was great though. We had a good time, and I'm sure in about 30 seconds' time it'll pop into my head. I was there. It's all lies. Is it all lies? Martin's face says, "Oi, that was my pint."
It was good.
And speak of the devil, another person who was there at that lunch, Mr. Alan Dawson.
Yes.
So there you go.
Hey.
And also Emma C has shown up. Hello, Emma C. How are you?
Hey, Emma.
And Emma C told me last night that she's going to be coming in the evening to meet up with us all at the NEC and have a meal with us all. So that'll be awesome.
Nice.
So there you go. We can embarrass her with talk of putting the bins out and wardrobe malfunctions when she's there. For those, do you know what, Steph? It still hasn't come to me what that thing was I was going to say.
It will after the stream ends.
It will. It
And live.
will.
You're going to be like, dang it, I remember. So.
Oh, it can't have been that important. But anyway. So this evening, I guess we should start to think about being sort of professional-ish and actually get into the subject of this evening, which is Home Alone from 1990, which makes me feel really old now because I remember watching the premiere of it on Sky TV. Didn't see it at the cinema, so I would have seen it about 91 on Sky Movies. So, guys, when roughly would your first experience? I'll come to you first, Kat, and then we'll go to Steph. How's that? When do you remember first seeing it, roughly?
Probably after it left the movie theaters, because I have no memory of seeing it in the theater, so I think we would have waited. So whenever it went to VHS, we probably got it and watched it. Whenever that was, I don't remember.
And Lady Steph, when would you have? Do you remember roughly? It doesn't matter if you don't.
I think probably mid-90s. I was born 88, so maybe mid to late 90s probably. One of those Christmases where your parents, shove you in front of the TV and say, "Hey, this is on. Let's all watch it." So Don't remember exactly when, because that's pretty much every Christmas. But yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar. Although normally our parents still chucked us in the front room, watch this, and you'd hear them arguing in the kitchen over who was going to prep the veg or whatever. That's the reality of Christmas. But yes, so Home Alone came out in 1990. What a year! I think I was still in reception at school. There you go. That's how long ago it was. Incredible people worked on the production of this. It was written by John Hughes. It was directed by Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus also had a hand in some of the writing of it. He made some changes along the way, a little bit of back and forth. And the actual precise release date for this was November 16th, 1990. That was in America. Mm-hmm. I don't think we got it too long after in the UK, because I'm pretty sure they released it to keep up with the, to get the pounds and pennies in from a slot. And it had a budget, well, it says here 18 million, but there's some sort of mixed figures on that. And because the production company for this, I don't know how much you guys do or don't know, the production company of this actually ultimately became Fox, but originally this was a Warner Brothers production. And they only actually gave the movie $10 million, and they went over it by about 4.5-5 million, and Warner Brothers were like, no, we can only go to sort of 13.5. And the director John Hughes, he was very clever. He got involved and in touch with a couple of friends from Fox, and the day that Warner Brothers pulled the rug from under their feet and said, no, we're cancelling this production, Fox stepped in, decided to fund it, and the rest is history. And now I suspect that Warner Brothers are absolutely have kicked themselves for years, because I do believe, it took something at the box office like 476 million on the budget I've got here says 18 million, but I've read anywhere between 15 and 18. I also read somewhere today that they reckon over time, with all the various releases, DVDs, videos, and VHS, that it's close to $1 billion this film has pulled in.
It even has a Guinness World Record. So, they really kicked themselves on that one. Huge missed opportunity for them.
Yeah, it seems really silly, because I mean, when you think of sort of, it's not like these were unknowns. I mean, John Hughes, writer of The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, which was sort of where he got the idea. Yeah, great film. Yeah. Uncle Buck, which inspired to bring in Macaulay Culkin. Oh, what have we got there? Chris Columbus also discovered America. We've already had that joke in our house this evening.
Thanks, Stu. I missed that one. I missed that in my research.
And just to say for the director Chris Columbus, let's bear in mind, he wrote like Goonies and Gremlins, and he also here a list of films, Adventures in Babysitting, Mrs. Doubtfire. He worked on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets, and many films. I mean, all right, at the time Chris Columbus was quite new in the movie industry, so perhaps they didn't have as much faith in him, but not to have the faith in John Hughes just seems a bit crazy to me.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Alas, they made their mistake, and now they must live with it. And also, before I go into the music of this film, as me and Kat always say on every stream we do, it always comes back to Star Wars. There is not a film we touch or do where there isn't a Star Wars connection, is there, Kat?
There's always. It's like, 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? There's always a connection with Star Wars. And this movie is the same example as that. The composer had backed out. I don't remember why. I had it in my notes, and then I lost that note because I had to redo them. He stepped out. John Williams actually saw a little bit of the film and said, "Oh, I'm totally in." And now we have the music from John Williams. So, I mean, whenever you hear that, any time you hear a little sample of his music, you can automatically pinpoint, oh, is this, that with John Williams. He's amazing. And He didn't hold back for this movie
Star
either.
Wars, Indiana Jones, Jaws, E.T.,
Yeah,
Jurassic
too
Park.
many iconic
Do I
entries.
need to go on? Do I need to go on? People in the comment section, please list every single film that John
Yes.
Williams has worked on if you really feel the need, because it's more than I wanted to type out or write down. So, yeah, the film. So just in case anyone is watching and they haven't seen this, very simple plot. Kevin McCallister, 8-year-old child. His parents are going from America to Paris for their Christmas holidays. Due to some family little argument and feud, Kevin gets sent upstairs. Tickets get accidentally lost. Confusion outside. They sleep in. They go to Paris. Kevin gets left behind, home alone, and there's a couple of burglars, the Wet Bandits, Harry and Marv, who want to take on the McCallisters' house because, as they put it, it's basically a gold mine. It's going to be full of all the good stuff. They're a very wealthy family, and although the Wet Bandits are going to be working around the street, this is their prize, this is their goal. And young Kevin decides, this is my house, I must defend it, to put it into the film. So before we go into any of the other facty talky bits, because we've got loads, and we'll go into the cast in a minute. We've already said Macaulay Culkin, obviously the little star of the show. I'm going to come to you, Steph. Are there any particular memories or anything of this film that really jump out at you, though, from anything that, when someone says Home Alone, someone that immediately pops into your head? Doesn't matter if there's not. It's not a trick question.
Yeah,
Just
no,
put me on the
it's
spot.
when Marv puts his head through the cat flap.
Oh.
And he looks
Hello.
up and there's Kevin. It's always that, the look that he has when he puts his head through the cat flap and he sees the gun. It's like, oh, that's what I like really comes into my head with Home Alone, is that shot.
Absolutely. I love that shot. And Kat, what about yourself?
I mean, as soon as you hear it, just you know,
the brute aftershave, which is a firm favourite of mine, I must say.
Which, you know, I mean, after we saw that film, my brother was constantly like, he's like, I'm going to do it, and then he would scream like it. You know, so that's mine.
Well, I have to say that as a kid, I did try that, and I never found the aftershave burnt because obviously you're not shaving your face. But I think every kid, every boy who saw that film and could access their dad's aftershave. Now this was the 90s, so Brute and Old Spice and all that. Very common aftershaves to have in your house. In fact, I don't care. I still wear them now. Forget all your... I tell you what, you know, Adam Berry puts me to shame when we go anywhere because he's got all his posh colognes on, and there's me with me bloody boots, $6.99 Brute on, you know. But
no Lynx Africa for you.
No, I don't mind a little bit of Lynx Africa. You've got to have a little bit of Lynx Africa, a little bit of Brute.
Yeah,
there you go. That's the smell of a man or somebody who's past it and unhappy with life. So no, I'm not unhappy with life, not at all. But yeah. So what's my memory of this film? Whenever anyone says Home Alone, it's the paint cans. That sadistic side of me. I just love the paint cans swinging down, and it's the way Harry ducks. And Marv takes it, and then Harry comes up again and gets battered in the, like, you idiot. What does our G say here? I feel each time Marv steps on the ornaments or the nail on as well as when Harry... sorry, I'm reading this really bad now. I should put glasses on. Stu, that's in honour of you, mate. I feel each time Marv steps on the ornaments or the nail on the stairs, as well as when he blasts Harry in the chest with the crowbar. Yeah, with the tarantula. So
yeah, definitely with the smashed ornaments, because we've all stepped on something we shouldn't have, haven't we? And you just, when he was stepping, I was like, yeah, that must have killed.
I kind of feel they missed a trick there with branding for Lego. They could have totally put some Lego on the floor. They could have totally done. But yeah, let's jump into a little bit of the cast. We really should. So first and foremost, what happened there? My little bit of Dorset farmer came out of me then. The mask slipped for a second. Macaulay Culkin is Kevin McCallister. I mean, Uncle Buck, later films, My Girl, hate that film. The Good Son, Richie Rich. He was a childhood star. I mean, he's sort of disappeared, sort of had his era of being a bit sort of going off the rails, but now he's back and he's good to see him, actually. He's really level-headed, switched-on bloke now. What have I got here? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I wrote down a fact here. Oh, yes. Macaulay Culkin actually, off the back of this, became one of the highest paid child actors in due to the success of Home Alone as well. So this was good for him. This is probably why he decided, sod this, I don't need to work anymore. Do you know what I mean? Well, when you're that young.
Yeah.
We've got Joe Pesci as I found out his surname is Lime. Harry Lime. Harry Lime.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I love all of his
Goodfellas.
facial expressions as Harry. He's very expressive.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, previous films, Goodfellas, Casino, Raging Bull, the list just goes on and on. This is Joe Pesci. One of my favourite things in this film. Apparently, apparently Joe Pesci said, I can't not swear. Like every film he's in Scorsese films, every third or fourth word is the F word. So that was that's what he decided to. Hey, Delvian, good to see you. Good to see you. That thing is his way of getting the swearing in the film, because obviously, I think there's only one. I only remember one swear word in this film, and that's when Marv puts his foot through the door and his shoe comes off, and he goes, "Oh shit!" and quickly grabs it back out. I don't
No,
think
I
there's.
didn't
I
even
can't.
notice that.
Yeah.
I
That's
only
the only one I
noticed
heard
it today,
last
I think.
Yeah.
So I watched it this afternoon. Fell asleep through half of it, but I've seen it that many times. I really wasn't worried. I stayed up so late. I've seen this film so many times. Like I didn't. Normally, I watch a good couple of times before we do one of these shows, but it just popped it on for giggles. But yeah, so we had Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern as Marv Merchants from City Slickers, Blue Thunder, The Wonder Years. I didn't realise he was the narrator of The Wonder Years. I didn't know
I
that.
didn't either.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, what? And so I found it and I was like, oh my gosh, that is it. It's crazy.
I used
I
to
love
watch
the
that
film.
on like old Disney Channel back in the day, and I was no idea. So there we go.
He's great. I loved him at City Slickers. His characters are so different from City Slickers to this, but I love him. I think he's good.
So one thing I'll say to you girls, though, I mean, I can't remember the name of the actor, but Daniel Stern decided he didn't want to, he stepped out of production on this because he found out that he was going to have to probably work for 4 to 6 weeks with no additional money because the film was overrunning, and they got another guy in, and it's completely escaped me. I should have made a note of it. I didn't. But it didn't work. So then they managed to get him back in. But when you watch, hey, Luke from Reynolds Reviews. Oh, he's got a question for the girls. I'll come to you. Is this toothbrush approved by the American Dental Association? Excellent.
I don't know. I'm just going to tell the little kid, yes.
Yeah.
Just tell him.
Absolutely. Well, we can get into this. There's a few. I don't want to pull the film apart too much because those guys would have died in the end, like within minutes before they got in the house. But yeah, so they managed to get Daniel Stern back in. The awesome Catherine O'Hara playing Kate McCallister, his mum.
Yep.
Yeah, I love her.
She's awesome, isn't
She's
she?
just great in everything she's in.
Yeah.
I still one of my favourite roles for her is Beetlejuice. I just love how over the top she is in Beetlejuice. She's incredible. So,
she did an interview back in 2014, and she says Kevin still calls her mom, which I think is really sweet and just kind of a testament to their relationship still and that kind of stuff. So I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Well, it's they would have been quite, because I would have been really sort of. He would have been so young at that point. They would have been real key figures. That whole experience would have molded him. And we've all got people we call mum, haven't we? Who aren't really our mum. I think most of us have, or have done at some point. I know I have. Basically, anyone who would feed me and tolerate me, to be fair, but not kick me out.
Yeah.
And so what else has Catherine O'Hara done? Beetlejuice, Mighty Wind, Schitt's Creek. Loads of stuff. She's been in loads of stuff. I only ever list down a few, and on the spot I can never remember more, but we all know these actors have done so many films. We also had the late great John Hurd as Peter McCallister, no longer with us. I believe he may have passed, it's probably almost 10 years ago. no longer with us. But you know, one of the films I got written down from here before Home Alone is Big. I remember him in Big. You know, apparently he was in The Awakening, and oh yes, of course, yeah, got down there. He was guest role in The Sopranos. I remember him in The Sopranos. Well, you know, so
yeah.
And one more character who I think is really important in this film is Robert Blossom as Old Man Marley, and he was a scary dude. But a couple of things I pulled up because I don't know him from anything else myself. But apparently he was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind in '77, Christine in 1983, and one more person I should probably bring up on my notes. So John Candy with his cameo and.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he? I really miss him.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a man who went far too soon. You know, he was. And
did you know for that role he only made $400, which was less than the pizza delivery guy in the movie?
That's
I
mad,
didn't know
isn't
that.
it? Yeah.
They filmed it all in one day, but he did it kind of as a favor to John. And so, but yeah, he goes, I only got paid a little over 400, but yeah, he got paid less than the pizza guy.
I did hear that it was done. I did know that John Candy's thing was sort of done in a day, and I do believe that a lot of his lines were improvised.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that he got paid. So he must have got paid because in Hollywood, I believe there's like rates, there's like standard rates that actors get paid. He must have just got paid like low scale or so because it wasn't it. He was doing the production a favor, wasn't he? That's why he came into it to help out.
Yeah, he was helping John out from what I read. So it's kind of like a little thing. But I love his little improv of trying to make the mom feel better and leaving his kid at the funeral parlor with the body all day. Okay. That's fantastic. Thank you. Let's stop talking now.
But you brought it up.
Right? Well, I'm just saying. Eventually, when he stopped talking, started talking after 6 weeks, he's fine.
It's just horrifying to think, isn't it? Like, so we'll go into the music in a bit, but like, guys, so let's go a little bit. Hey, Rolando, how you doing, dude? This is really good tonight. I've as you notice, I've assigned Kat comment duties. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Kat's controlling the comments because basically I'm rubbish and I miss comments all the time. I'm terrible, so.
It's okay. I got you.
But let's bring up a slide anyway. I will remember to do that. I'll remember to do that because we've obviously already had the most important slide. But to jump back to one about the film.
Oh no.
So talking of that experience, like when you think that film, Kevin is left at home alone, and the John Candy scene always makes me laugh when he says to Kate, like, "Oh, he came around in about 6 weeks. he's fine now." What's Martin say? John Candy was amazing. I watched Stripes and Uncle Buck recently. What a great John Candy performance! Yeah, he was ace, man. He really was, and Uncle Buck really was one of those films growing up that I loved.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hey, Mr. B, good to see everyone's showing up. So that's excellent. See? Oh, I love that. So yeah, just imagine this, girls. You're at home. You've been left at home alone, and just like this little dude here on this poster, the film poster or the video or DVD case poster. And when you were a kid, was this a scenario in your head when you watched this film? Was this a scenario? Like I remember thinking I remember very clearly thinking, I'd love to be left at home and fight off burglars. Did you go? Steph, did
not
you have
necessarily
that?
the burglar bit, but but yeah, I mean, isn't that the dream as a kid, just to be left at home so that you don't have to like be nagged at to do this, that, or the other? Like, yeah, you can just use your sledge to go down the stairs, swing from the banisters or something without being told off. It's just doing all those things around the house that you're not allowed to do, or like that room with all your mum's like glassware in or something because you might smash it all, and like just going in and just touching it or something is why wouldn't you want to do that? Absolutely, as a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up in the thought of when when we were home alone, it's if somebody came to the door, hit the deck, like you got on all fours, you're crawling around because you don't want them to know you're home because you're not supposed to, talk to strangers. You're not even supposed to answer the door. Like, who was that? I don't know. Who was that? You're turning off lights, like all that kind of stuff. So, but once we did see Home Alone, I mean, we had ideas, but it was always like, oh, somebody knocked on the door and you like panic. So I wish I was brave like Kevin, but no.
Yeah, I would have been the same. Like you say, we were always taught, do not answer the door, do not go near the windows. Like,
hide.
Go hide around the corner. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see, I would have dreamed of being left at home alone. I mean, I was this kid. Now, this doesn't necessarily connect to Home Alone, but I remember one time, so I was off school poorly, right? And I was sort of at that age where I wasn't old enough to be left at home alone. And they managed to get my elderly neighbour from next door to sort of come and pop in and keep an eye on me, right? So it was I think it was after Christmas. And we had these cardboard reindeers and Santas, which had like these red ropes between them. And you put them up on the wall as like a decoration. In our back garden, we had like a jungle gymnasium thing. Mm-hmm. And Knobhead Ear decided to tie part of that rope to his foot around his ankle.
Oh,
and some of the rope to the jungle gym and sort of go off of it. And anyway, I'm there dangling by a leg. And this is why I shouldn't have been left home alone. Anyway, the neighbour hears because it's sort of popping back and forth because you could cross over between our fence at the time. And she just comes out, sort of looks, comes back out with a bloody knife and just cuts it out, just drop on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
I love how there's just no like questions asked, like it's normal.
Yeah.
Just dangling from the rope again.
Yeah.
Get a knife.
Shenanigans.
But I only really tell that story, one, because I think it's quite funny, but two, because that's why I shouldn't be left alone. Because I was sort of supervised as much as I could be. And I went and, and tried to, I guess, sort of faux bungee jump off of a climbing frame. Oh dear, what's Stu saying? If Steph was left home alone, I wonder if she would pack Martin's collection rate or open a figure or two. Oh.
I wouldn't dare, I don't think. I think even I, as a young kid, wouldn't have dared to even go ahead and do that. No way. I think Martin would probably have a lock on the door anyway to make sure that didn't happen.
Oh dear, opening a man's collection or a lady's collection, look, you ladies just as bad. Mrs. APD's got into collecting and buying Lego, right? Mm-hmm. And she's got the sorting hat from Harry Potter, the talking one.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I touch it, she goes mad. Don't touch that, you'll break it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you told us a story about you hanging up from a rope, so
It's 9 years old.
Yeah, but not much has changed. Let's be honest. Come on, Nick.
Probably not. So yeah, that's why, as much as I would have dreamt of being left home alone, that's why we didn't leave me home alone. I do apologise. I think hasn't every one of us on this panel got a cough at the moment? Is that right?
Yeah,
I think it's just you two.
Yeah, just us two.
But I could
sympathy cough.
Yeah, there you go.
Sympathy cough. Yeah. It's awful. It's just going rife at the moment. Anyway, so to jump, we did briefly reference. What did we briefly reference earlier? We've gone over the music. We've gone over the cast. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, let's
Adam, I would have killed you if you'd done that. I loved my trolls.
Rude.
To be fair, Adam, so what I used to do, this wasn't so easy on the proper trolls, but the sort of knockoff trolls, if you grasped their hair hard enough and pulled, you could just pull their hair out, like the glue would come away, and they'd have like this little like.
Why she can't trust you to touch stuff?
Oh, it's all right. My old man used to glue the hair back in after giving me a clout and all that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. So
brothers.
brothers, what brothers do. Again, though, so I just want to sort of, so when we look at this film, are there any, and you don't have to quote them verbatim, but are there any particular lines that stand out to you? I mean, I think I'm just going to say the keep the change, you filthy animal is one of the ones which really always clings to my head. Is there any line or anything in the film, you haven't got to get exact, that you always sort of remember? Or...
Yeah, when I was watching it, I've got it here. It's when he says, "I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come and stop me," because that's exactly the sort of thing. Like, I just thought the whole first section of the film, he was almost repeating everything he'd heard the adults say to him. And I just thought that line is exactly the sort of thing that my mum would have said. Like, "Oh, turn that rubbish off and go and do your homework." So I just thought that's such a kid thing to say, is I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. I just think, oh, his parents, so he's obviously been told that a million times, like I was when I was a
Buzz,
kid.
I'm going through your private stuff. You better come out and pound me. Which is, I have to say, and before I forget, that scene, so about going through Buzz's stuff, because I'll forget this if I don't. There are three. Did you guys spot the 3 moments in the film where Kevin McCallister suddenly grew into an adult? Can you name the 3 moments in the film? So,
no,
I think one is when he's going out from the treehouse on the rope from the house to the treehouse.
Yeah,
and then
very clearly an adult.
I'm pretty sure when he's flying down the stairs and like outside of the house, all of a sudden he turns into more of a grown man. Still looks weird. And then I don't remember the third one. I can't remember that one.
What reminded me was when he climbs up Buzz's shelves and they give way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So those moments, just to say though, as a kid once, another stupid thing I didn't go down the stairs on a sled, but I had a cardboard box. Top of the stairs, right? Our house, the stairs were very steep, straight down. At the end of the stairs, so there was like a gas baxi fire at the end of the stairs. So you used to sort of step up, turn left, and go straight up the stairs. I had this cardboard box I kept for absolutely ages because it had a train on it, printed on it, because I was young, still sort of mad on trains and that. Anyway, I used to always sort of sit at the top of the stairs, sort of teetering, will I, won't I, will I, won't I, will I, won't I. I would never have had the balls to do it until one day I actually did. By accident, and I shot straight down the stairs, and for years there was a dent in the case of the baxi fire. Okay, so, but what my old man had to do, because it was dented, I had the same fire in my bedroom, so they took the case off of mine, put it on the one downstairs, so people didn't come in to a bashed up gas fire. Nice. But I think that was pre-Home Alone. But just to say, these are the things that boys would do.
Well, and I remember doing that with a cardboard box as well, to be fair, like thinking, I wonder if I could, slide down the stairs on it, because it's the only sort of ramp thing to get your momentum, isn't it? So, yeah.
We didn't have stairs in the house, but we had this massive deck outside. And one year it was 97, the blizzard of 97. It snowed for a week, and the snow was above our door. So we had to tunnel out through the windows. Anyway, we put the snow up to the very top railing, and we use that as a sled.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, we like ran into the apple trees that we have. Like it was the best time. It was better than driving somewhere for a stupid hill. We've done that, but unfortunately no stair riding.
You haven't lived till you've done a bit of stair riding.
I know. I do want to bring up something. So Adams had said, wasn't Buzz dressed as a girl in that photo as his girlfriend? Close. It was the art director's son. Because of Kevin's famous line of Buzz's
your girlfriend. Woof.
They felt bad if it was a real girl. So the art director's son actually had no problem dressing up as a girl because he thought it would be too cruel to do it to a real girl. So you're close.
So as per typical, I completely threw us here. I sort of asked Steph a question. I had a line. Steph had a line. This is how it's always going to be with me, tangents. Is there any favourite line for you, Kat, to give you fair crack of the whip?
I mean, it's not technically a line, but I think of it often because that's how I would react, is just when he's screaming with the tarantula on his face. So it's not really a line, but then, he gets up and he's like, don't move. Like, that's kind of my Like I can never get it out of my head just because that's how I react when I see them. So
Now, interestingly, my 10-year-old son said to me today when we were watching Home Alone, and we're going to get into the end bit and all the traps, and we're going to discuss there's loads more bits to discuss. He said to me, he said, well, Dad, you do know that he didn't actually scream in that moment and they had to put the scream in after because they were worried if he screamed it would upset the spider and it might bite him or something like that. I was like, okay, I'll take your word for it. What have you been watching?
Yeah, wow.
That's just my kid.
see, and I saw another one saying that it was legit, like he did scream at the time because crap, they said something about the spider, but it was actually legit. So I don't know. Either way, it's believable because you have a spider on your face.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see how probably Kevin could pick it up. I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
not happening. That maybe the stunt double did that because I couldn't.
I mean, tarantulas are scary things. As a kid, my sister was going out. Well, when I was probably about 10 or 11, my sister was going out with a guy who used to work at a local like aquarium and wildlife place in Poole. And he brought me back some tarantula skins that had been shed in like a clear box.
Yeah.
So my mum was sat in front of the fireplace where she used to sit having a coffee, and I threw one at her. Oh, you've never heard a scream like she beat the crap out of me for that one.
Oh, gosh,
Such a delightful child, Nick.
Rightly so. I would have beat you too.
It was one of the. I'm wearing sliders now. It was one of those where they get the flip flop off and they're like, one of those beatings.
Yeah, my friend at school had a tarantula, and they lost it in the house, and they never found it. Can you imagine? Oh. I know.
How long do they live for?
That makes me think of arachnophobia. That's just no. Lost the tarantula. Nope. Then burn it. Start it over.
Yeah, we're moving.
Your answer to everything is kill it with fire, Kat. You can't. That can't be the default answer to everything.
Listen. How do you kill evil things? With fire. Blobby, fire. Tarantulas, fire. Simple. Say it.
What about blobby tarantula?
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I
wouldn't do it just because I like you, but now I don't like you as much. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'll haunt your dreams now. I'm so
sorry.
Kick
her off now? Can we kick her off? I don't want to do the rest of the show with Stephanie. Traitor. Oh.
I take it back.
So
I'm going to call you at my time for bedtime, wake you up with nightmares. So thank you for that. Horrible thing to say.
So Kat, while I take a moment sorting out the rest of my notes, which I never. What?
Not what I said. Not what I said. Not what I said.
She is absolutely not saying that.
I'm now an accessory.
For legal reasons, we must state that is not what Kat meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're all in different countries. Like Connor's in Ireland. Like we're probably good. I'd probably just say it's probably not advisable. Wild tarantulas can live up to 30 years. Wow.
Thanks for that, Ricardo.
In England, they are cold. I don't know. I suppose so long as it stays warm in the house, maybe.
It's probably got more chance of surviving in the house if it can get a reasonable source of food. What predators has it got?
Fire.
Again. After Connor's outburst there, I think maybe we should move away from cleansing things with fire. I think perhaps
my baseball bat I sleep next to.
You sleep with a baseball bat next to you? My goodness.
Yeah. When I moved out on my own, I don't have a gun or anything, so I got a metal bat.
You're worse than Kevin McCallister. I mean, he was sadistic. You're just brutal.
You know, some people say there's a conspiracy saying that he turned into Jigsaw. Just saying. Could happen.
I've got to bring this comment up before we go any further. Steph Slipper. Have I missed some context here? Is this some spanking game that we don't know that we don't need to know about?
No, no. It's anytime there's a spider, I'm like, Martin, get your slipper.
Oh.
So I won't go near them. I freeze so much. I'm like, Martin,
Yeah. See, I live in a house with
It's like, with what? I'm like, your slipper.
Carla has proper, Mrs. APD has proper, she's proper scared of spiders. The problem is, we got a 10-year-old who's a miniature version of me. You guys have both spoke to him. He is me, but in miniature.
Yeah.
The other day, the little turd, he found like a dead spider that was, I don't know, in some crevice of the house where we obviously hadn't got to, right? And he chased Carla with it. And I'm trying to tell him off while she's screaming and going mad, whilst laughing inside, thinking legend. do you know what I mean?
Oh, he's definitely a mini you.
Yes.
You're teaching him things.
Yeah.
Anyway, before I go into any more of my stuff and we get into, because I really want to talk about the end scene and something I do really want to go into, you know, is Kevin's battle plan and everything, and we will get into that and go over all the deadliness there. But you've got a few bits written down, have you, Kat, that you wanted to go over? Is that right?
Well, it's funny. We talked about most of them that were.
Oh, okay. That's absolutely fine.
So, I mean, it was filmed in a school gymnasium. So the insides of the house, it was actually from a school that closed in 1981 in Illinois. So I would have never guessed. I thought that was like, I obviously knew it wasn't the real house from the outside, but I figured it was somebody said, no, they pre-built it. And then the neighbor scene, you know, where he goes to the neighbor's house and it's flooded. They actually shot that in the pool, the school pool, which I thought was pretty cool with that. Yeah. But no, most of the other stuff we've kind of mentioned a little bit here and there. So
there is one cool fact then. Is there anything, and it doesn't matter if you have or haven't, is there anything you wanted to bring up, Steph, before I go into my next little bit, before we all go off topic and start talking about burning in-laws with fire?
Do you see Mr. Heckles from Friends in the film?
No.
Do you know who Mr. Heckles is?
Not Officer Balzac.
So he's yes, I think that might be his name. He was the Family Crisis guy.
Yeah, Officer Balzac. Yeah.
oh yeah.
And he's an upstairs neighbor from Monica and Rachel's apartment, Mr. Heckles.
Yeah.
So I thought, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, Mr. Heckles. But yeah,
that's a good one.
Random.
I just love that scene. Just how unbothered the police are. Like, you've got this irate woman calling from a foreign country. Like, my son's at home. Like, you want us to go and check? And how easily the policeman gives up. Because, I mean, something I didn't notice until probably a few years ago, despite watching this film many times. They do plan this film out really well as to how Kevin actually does get left behind. It's like it's all very well laid out, and from like the spilling of the milk to the ticket ending up in the bin to the kid outside when they're doing the camp, Buzz being an absolute dickhead, and he is in this film throughout. He's a horrible character, but I don't like the character of Buzz. I'm sure.
No. You know, deleted face. Yeah, in deleted scene, he was even worse. They took out a lot because they said he was really bad with deleted scenes. And so I was like, he's already horrible. What did they take out? I didn't get to see any of them. And then they also made kind of, what is it? Joe Pesci's, he had a deleted scene of basically why he robs, which was kind of like, you know, the spirit of Christmas isn't really what it used to be and that kind of stuff. And he was like upset about it. And they said it basically humanized him. Because then you feel like he's just trying to, what did they say? Like he's basically like the Grinch and just needs Christmas, but yet he's getting pummeled by a kid. So they completely took it out because they wanted it more of the slapstick.
I think that was a good one to take out, I think. Because like you said, that would have humanized him a bit too more and we would have sympathized with him too much. Whereas like you say, you need them to be the comic relief, really, don't you?
Yeah. And they both didn't think that it was going to do much. So they didn't hold back with like their performances and that kind of stuff, and just kind of made it really like silly and stuff like that, because they honestly didn't think it was going to be such a hit. But I think it was perfectly played with how they did it.
Yeah, I agree. I think those two are great. I think how they did it. I don't think it's too over the top. I don't think it's underplayed. I think it is literally just the right amount of slapstick that's needed.
There is one thing though which I found out. Apparently Joe Pesci, Macaulay Culkin, I saw in an interview, he's got a little scar on his finger.
Oh,
And apparently while they were practicing the scene where Kevin's hung up on the hook and he's going to bite each one of those little fingers off, apparently Joe Pesci in one of the practice runs of it accidentally bit Macaulay Culkin's finger and he didn't bleed. And Macaulay Culkin's apparently very proud of this scar. This is his Home Alone scar. As you'll be. Like, what a cool story. Like, not only are you the kid from Home Alone, but Joe Pesci bit your finger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd boast about that.
Right?
Because I also read that Joe Pesci on set sort of tried to stay in character quite a bit as well to try and sort of keep Macaulay Culkin on edge or whatever.
He tried to avoid Macaulay Culkin, didn't he? So that he stayed sort of scary.
Yeah, kind of mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the bit with Joe Pesci where they're in the van and he's like almost boasting to Marv about knowing when all the timers of the lights from all the different houses come on. And Marv's like really impressed.
Right.
I thought that was quite a funny scene where he's like, oh yeah, I know.
When I was little, I was like, how did he do that? I missed it because you're little. You don't pay attention that it's on a timer, because I thought he did that somehow when I was little. I was like, that's so impressive.
Well, if anyone wonders why Steph liked that scene so much, if you'd have seen Lego Studs a few weeks ago before they went to America and you saw their itinerary for while they were in America and how well planned it was down to the minute, I can imagine that was absolute like movie porn for you, Steph. You must be like, oh, I really love this guy. He is scheduled and he is on time.
Right. He knows. He's got a plan. He knows which house, which time to go to which house. Yeah, love him.
And plus he's nearly indestructible, so
exactly,
he's prepared for everything. Did you guys notice do you guys know the conspiracy theory that Elvis was in the movie?
Yeah,
right. So I watched another video on it, and I actually got a still of the guy close up, because just the normal scene, because I was trying to stare at it yesterday when I was watching it, and I'm like, I don't see it. Well, they did a close in shot and put it, and I was like, oh, if you do it that way, you can kind of see a resemblance. But yeah, they said Elvis is an extra when the mom's at the airport trying to find a flight home. You see John Candy in the background, and yeah, Elvis is alive and making cameos. So there you go.
That's what I find hilarious, that they think that he'd want to be an extra in these
right. I'm not gonna lay low. I'm just gonna
sorry,
Palps.
just
somehow you have returned. Hail Palps.
I'm just reading through the comments while you girls having a chat, which thank you for doing so, because I'm really struggling trying not to cough this evening. I'm just these comments. I have my old duty belt under our bed, cuff fixed baton, extendable baton, and mag light. Adam, see, it's always wise to have a kosh close by. Connor, not the place for kinks, Keith. This is what this comment section turns into.
I love you guys with that.
That's great. You're keeping the chat alive. Thanks, guys.
Laughing is making me cough more than talking, and I'm reading that like that.
Me too.
Thank you.
Hey, Tree, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for popping along. And yes, anyone watching, Kat always tells me to do this. If you could chuck a like on this, and if you're not subscribed, chuck us a sub if you like it. If you don't have to. I'm not going to drag you through a fun house of torturous events if you don't. But if you're not subbed, then well. Anyway, girls. Ladies, I keep saying girls. I should say ladies, really, shouldn't I? I should say ladies.
It doesn't matter to me.
One moment. What is this? Georgie has a magnifying glass. No, No, Stu. I'll bring it up on screen if anyone wants to read it. I'm not finishing that.
It's to keep her gorgeous.
Anyway. Try not to cough, Nick. Try not to cough. Right, let's bring this slide up. I just chucked together a few. What caused that random laugh? Maybe the magnifying glass helps you laugh, Stu. Just in case anyone is listening to this and not watching for some context. That was a comment from TJC. Connor, I will say, Stu, your eyebrows are always immaculate. Shame about the beard. Well, anyway, so right. I've done a few slides this evening. There we go. It's hard to know for a film like this what particular slides you want, and then But I guess I could have brung some more in of like the guys getting hit and stuff. But I want to talk about this scene here. Kat, sorry, could you just take the talk for a moment? I need to take just a second. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I mean, I don't know how like, so when he's running from the cop and he's sliding, do you ever have you ever been ice skating, Steph?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever tried that where you go on your knees and you slide through and you're just going forever?
No, I can imagine that would be really painful, wouldn't it? Can you even do it?
I mean, you slide a little bit, but not like, oh, I'm gonna go through somebody's legs and be like, yeah, and then you just hop right up and keep running. That doesn't. I've tried it several times. It doesn't work as well. I mean, I'm not graceful as it is, but yeah, I like.
Sorry
that
about that. That was a proper cough. that was a proper cough, and I tried beer, it didn't suppress it. I tried water, it didn't suppress it. I tried vaping. God knows why. I'd think that would help it, but that didn't help it.
Wow.
Anyway, where were we? Sorry, just to chuck that on you then, Kat.
No, it's cool. I was talking about the magic of him sliding or running away from the cop, and it's like, whoa, and magically went through people's legs and then just hopped along. Doesn't work that way. I tried. That doesn't work.
That was a false lake. I do know that was a false lake they put together with however they did that. And it was proper frozen. It wasn't water, whatever it was. But you can see Macaulay Culkin's face, how much, because I know that he did slide for that particular moment between that person's legs. And you can see the look on his face. He is loving life at that moment.
Yeah, he has a big grin across his face, doesn't he, doing that bit? I noticed that too.
There is something interesting as well, which I found out was they basically were waiting for snow, and they were all on high alert for snow to happen so they could film the scenes outside the McCallisters. And then it opened up, the snow come down, and they just suddenly, apparently there was pages going around, get there, we got to film these shots. But apparently what they did to because the snow had fallen, there was no more, they used dried potato flakes to create and simulate the snowdrops. And apparently after a few days of those being on the ground and the snow starting to melt and them starting to sort of rot, apparently it absolutely stunk like rotten veg outside that house.
Bad times.
That's gross. Yeah.
Bad times. So yeah, the owners of that house, well, they wouldn't have been there. I suspect the owners of that house were very well compensated for loaning that for outside shots, because as we've already said, the inside is all a stage built in a high school gym. So
yeah.
Right, back to the battle plan. Oh, guys, what's your favorite? Before we go for it, we don't have to go for it beat for beat, but what's your favorite thing that happens to Harry and Marv in this? Because there's the plan there, or there's a version of the plan. That's actually not the best one, because the one in the movie is different to that. I don't know. I didn't realise that. But they did actually get Macaulay Culkin to draw up the plan. They gave him an idea and he drew it himself. So of that fun house, shall we call it, I'll come to you first, Steph. What was your favourite thing that happened to Harry or Marv, or both of them, during this sort of end of the film?
I did really like the feathers on Harry. I thought that was a really good one, because because it
Why
kind
have you
of
taken your shoes
confuses.
off? Why are you dressed like a chicken?
So yeah, I did like that, and I did really like actually the sticky tar up the stairs as well for Marv. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah,
I have to say on that, and I'm going to say this before I forget. So that sticky tar, he cleans that house up immaculately at the end, and they come home. I just want to know, did he ever clean that tar off those stairs?
never. That's never coming off.
Just like, how did you explain that one, Kevin? But Kat, what's your favourite part for the Wet Bandits getting attacked?
So I have two. It's just because I've done it, is sliding down the ice stairs, because I know how painful that is, and you're just kind of laying there, and then him getting up and still falling. Like I've done that. I like that, but I also like when he steps on the ornaments.
Yeah,
It's because he's already dying from the nail, and then he just steps on it, and then he's just trying to stand up, and it just keeps cracking more, and he's living. Like I like that.
It's also very real as well, isn't it? Like that is how you would react to all that, and it's something that could happen, having broken ornament or like stepping on the ornaments. Yeah, definitely.
Well, they were sugar, but it still hurt.
Vic,
too.
hello.
Hello.
See that part with the stairs. So when Marv goes down the stairs, I mean, because interestingly, I think on the movies that made us on Netflix, I watched how the stuntmen apparently were all absolutely nuts for this. But all stuntmen apparently are nuts.
Right.
And every time you see Harry come off those stairs and fly back on his back, like the stuntman did that every time. And apparently they had something set up called a chicken cam, which was just to make sure if the shot went wrong, that they had it filmed from another angle so that they could do it. Because apparently none of them were laughing on set when the stuntmen were doing this. Apparently they were all like proper concerned, like, shit.
Like, there's one time where he almost lands on his head, or like he lands on his neck. I was like, oh my God.
So the stunts are very, very real. But the one that gets me with the stairs, and this is my favourite part. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. It is the stairs with Marv when he goes down, but it's not when he goes down the stairs. That is funny. But it's the moment where he puts the crowbar on the door, and I don't know why this moment absolutely tickles me every time. And he drops, and then you just hear the crowbar fall and hit him again. It's just something about that moment gets me every single time. But I guess past that, the iron to the face. I mean,
yeah.
So there is a TV show in the UK called the Unofficial Science of Home Alone, or something like that. And I believe James Acaster's one of the presenters in it, a comedian. And they get a couple of scientists together and they recreate all the things with like dummies, with like shock impact, and Kevin killed these guys several times over, like really badly. Like he messed them up.
Yeah.
I mean, like the paint can to the face. You're seriously injured. Like apparently the impact into the wall from the tree house where
God,
that moment, it could only be the wackiness of a film. Like, why would you decide to go across that road? It's when he's there and he's got the shears and they're like, go back. And you just think. But yeah, so anyone who hasn't seen it, it is out there. It may even be on YouTube. If you've got access, I think it may have been an ITV show here. So if you've got a VPN, if you're in the States, you may be able to pick it up. But yeah, the Unofficial Science of Home Alone, like, Kevin's evil, man. Like, he is. Those guys did not. Those guys barely got in that house.
And he enjoys it as well. The glee across his face.
Do you guys give up?
Using them.
Thirsty for more.
Yeah.
See, so it's believable that he turned into Jigsaw when he got older. Just saying. Believable.
That is one of the theories. There's many theories out there about. There's many
He
theories
got
about.
left again the following year, so it's a bad tradition.
What's this here? I thought
Yeah.
Nick was going to say, if you have access to YouTube, to be fair, Zombie, and hello, Zombie, to be absolutely fair with you, that is the kind of dumbass comment I would absolutely make. So,
Wow.
oh dear, what's this Griffin, bro? I would have been 6 when this came out, hearing people critique this movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would have, I think I was around 6 when this came out, to be completely honest with you. It was,
I was 4.
I was young. 4. Well, what am I? I can't ask you your age on stream, can I? Because you'd be like, oh, that's rude. But I'm 40, so I think it's 34 years old. So yeah, I would have been 6. So yeah.
She said the year she was born before.
Me,
so-
yeah, I would have been 2. I was 1988.
1988 too. Babies. You're all just babies. I'm not, well, you know, I'm just
40 in
getting
4
old now.
years. Ugh.
Oh dear, 40 in 4 years. What will you do?
Oh, I
Here's
don't
one.
know.
Here's one to depress you, ladies. You are now, both of you, I remember both your ages, but I'm not going to say them because I'm polite. You girls now are both a few years older than what Daniel Stern was, who played Marv in the film when he was Marv
Shut
in
your
Home
mouth.
Alone.
Shut
Oh.
your mouth.
Oh,
Shut it.
You are older than what Marv was.
oh, it's depressing.
That's rude. Rude.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Right, let's.
Nice
You know
to
how to
anyway.
treat a lady, Nick.
right?
I did not reveal your ages, but back to the battle plan, just to remind myself of things. Another.
Quickly moving on.
Yeah.
Quickly
Take
moving
yourself out
on.
of the hole.
Quickly
Take
moving
yourself out
on.
of the hole.
Well, Kat's got control of the comments, so I'm just free. That's what happens when you let me, go off piste. Another thing I love in the film, and the unofficial science of Home Alone, the branding on the hand of the M from the door.
Oh.
Oh,
That is so.
Brutal. Oh.
I doubt you will see it on this. On my arm there is a white faded part in my There's a white faded part in my tattoo arm there. I'm leaning away from the mic like you're going to hear me. Now, we had in a butcher shop I worked in years ago, we had a rotisserie chicken cooker thing where you used to go around and it had these heat bars in there, these elements. And I reached in once and I touched my arm on the red hot bar. You can't reach a bit there. And it turned to powder and dust immediately. Like it didn't even blister at first. It was just like dust.
Oh.
So having felt that, and I've had a couple of bad burns from cooking oil before as well from a part-time job, because in the 90s we were allowed to do dangerous jobs. That's what made us what we are today. Anyway, every time I see that scene, you laugh because it's the film, but that burn is horrible. When you look at his hand and he's put it in the snow and you can see the throbbing red, I'm like, that is. And to top it off, then Kevin burns his head with the blowtorch
I was just
as
going to say the
well.
head. Yeah, when he's getting into the police car and he's like, don't touch the head.
Hands off the head, buddy.
Yeah, you feel the pain there. You know how sore that's going to be.
They should have just been taken to the hospital because they could have just died from their injuries waiting in the cell. I mean, head
Well, they just
concussions,
They
burns.
just sort of headed to the morgue, mate, to be honest with you, because they were messed up.
Yeah. Loose, lost tooth too. That hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
That's cool.
They get so thoroughly beaten up and messed up in this film. I mean, even the moment with the micro machines, and there's clever. This film's really clever because like earlier in the film when he's on the bed and he's doing something, and Kevin, the mum says to him, "Kevin, don't do that," and he goes, "Why don't you get off the phone and make me? Why don't you?" or whatever. And then his dad comes in, and you think, "You cocky little sod." But me and Kat have both got boys who are around 10 years old, and that's the sort of attitude they will give you from time to time. It's when his dad comes and goes, "Kevin, you could start by cleaning up those micro machines. Your aunt nearly broke her neck on them." And there's lots of little things, like you say, with when Kevin was doing all these things. Hey, I'm eating junk food. They the writing is so clever of the film. Like it's very well put together. They don't miss a beat.
No. And they wrote it in 9 minutes. So for him to have it done in 9 minutes, to have all that, like, pretty amazing guy to be able to do all that.
Sorry, did you just say 9 minutes?
Yeah, it says that John wrote it in 9 minutes.
I thought I read he was a guy who would bang films out over a weekend. 9 minutes.
I found something. It said that he wrote it in 9 minutes.
Okay.
Blame
So so from what I understand, hey, look, from what I understand, they didn't say how long it took him to write this, but on the Movies That Made Us, they did go into how John would like basically bang out a movie over a weekend. That's what he was good at. He was a machine. So if he did do it in 9 minutes, that's plenty.
Right?
What's cheaper? Takes 9 minutes to write my address.
It's okay, G. It's okay. We all have talent somewhere.
Wow. Meow. Oh. So yeah, we've spoke through the film, and we could speak for hours on this film, but we've been at this for almost an hour and 20 minutes already. 10 minutes, I'm still looking for a pen. Now, we're not going to go into what happens in the second film because we've already said next year we're going to do the second film. So, Steph, keep your diary free.
Yes, please. I love the second one.
Yeah. Which I will say is almost identical, but in New York. Anyway, I said we're not going to go into it, but I love it. I saw it at the cinema. I love that film. Mm-hmm. So we know there's Home Alone 1 and 2. Now, Kat told me something. How many sequels was it you told me there are to Home Alone in total? Six.
So I knew there was 3, which I only count the first 2 anyway. But it was Home Alone 90, 92 Lost in New York, 97 was the third one, 2002 was Taking Back the House, 2012 Holiday Heist, and 2021 Home Sweet Home Alone. Which that one has a cameo of one of the police officers is actually Buzz.
Oh God, they were reaching with that, weren't they?
Yeah.
I have seen. Sorry, carry on, dude.
No, I was just gonna say it's turned into like The Land Before Time. It like just keeps going. Like you don't need it. Just after the first 2,
you never need it.
Just stop.
I have seen Home Alone 3. I watched that on Sky years ago. That's the one where the little boy, his parents. There's something about a microchip. They leave him at home when he's sick. It's shit. I don't know what more to say. If you like it, you like it. We all have our things, but I watched a trailer for the latest Disney version the other day. Mm-hmm. Like Aisling B or whatever her name is, the Irish comedian as the mum, and this is the one that had the cameo of Buzz in it, and the little Irish English kid, and like Disney. Get this for your skulls. There are only 2 Home Alone films, right? There are 2. The rest are weak imitations. Yeah. If you want to do a Home Alone sequel, you need to get Macaulay Culkin back. And you've somehow got to write it with his kid. Not necessarily his real life kid. But this is the dad in this. Yeah.
Exactly,
This is the only way. And I don't think you're getting Joe Pesci back because as to my understanding, he's pretty much retired from film, but you never say never. But I'd love to hear what the chat have got to say about this. I'll ask you girls your opinions on it in a moment. But chat, what do you think? Would you support a Home Alone 3, a direct sequel from 2, all these years later, forget all the other crap, where Macaulay comes back and somehow they write a story around him or his kids or something. And if they did it properly, if they got now, I know people have passed away, but, Chris Columbus is still about. If they did this properly, would you support this? Would you like to see it if it was done properly? That's my question to the chat. Oh, we all gone quite. What's that there? Sorry.
Because you asked the chat. No.
Sorry, apologies. You guys, No. I was like,
do we just sit here and wait for
No, no.
chat?
so I was coming back round and I confused me. Yeah, all right. Just embarrass me on stream. Why not? It's okay. Get your shots in. Get your digs in. It's all right.
You.
Time to get our own
No,
back
so-
sometime.
As I started that by saying, I said, before I come to the girls and ask this question, I'm going to ask it to the chat to give them time. I will come to you first, Lady Stephanie. Sorry, there is honestly something's dipping anyway. Steph, if let's forget everything past 2, would you be interested in a sequel that involved Macaulay Culkin? And I just read that keeps coming out. All those sequels get boring as hell, like someone telling the same joke over and over. Yes, Keith, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's got to be done really carefully, I think. I mean, it might be quite fun if it was Macaulay Culkin with his son, but they're the ones that are home alone sort of together, perhaps. And he's perhaps teaching the kid, like, because he's just playing up just as much, like, I don't know, maybe the wife is really strict with them or something. And he's like, oh, we could have, finally have a lads weekend or something. I don't know. But to not, I don't know, because otherwise, if it's just the kid
I'm not saying
there,
I want it, but I'm saying if you're going to do it.
Yeah. Because if it's just the
Would
kid
you-
there without Macaulay Culkin constantly on your screen, it's just going to be the same as what we've already got, I think.
But this will all come round. So, Kat, what's your thoughts on it? There is a reason why I asked this question.
I think it's too late. I think maybe if we had one like, when he was like in his early 20s or 30s or something, maybe. But I think it's too late now. I think too much is too much time, and they've kind of lost it. And I don't think they would do it or should do it. I don't think that.
So the reason I sort of posed that question was because I think I sent both of you a fan-made trailer of clips edited together of a Home Alone 3 sequel that some fan had edited together using clips of Macaulay and other films and that. And like the comments section on YouTube were absolutely freaking out. Like, yes, this is the sequel we need. This is the sequel we need. And I say, if you are going to do a sequel that retcons all the other BS, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. Personally, I'm happy. Home Alone 1 and 2, I'm happy.
But that was him as an adult, though, wasn't it? It wasn't like a...
Yes, so it was Macaulay as an adult, and basically they... The premise of the trailer was his dad had passed away, but he was somehow stuck somewhere with his mum, but the Wet Bandits were been released from jail and they want revenge, and they come and he's basically got to defend his mum and his house, and it's a bit more like, it's probably a bit more adult, but like the comment section on YouTube was going nuts, like, yeah, this is the sequel we need, this is the sequel we need, and it all leads to what Kat was saying. There's this theory out there that it's not a theory, it's not true, it's just BS that gets made up online, isn't it? But a lot of people have this theory that Kevin McCallister became Jigsaw in the Saw movies.
I mean, he's pretty twisted and happy in the delight of, kind of murdering people. I mean, isn't that the plot to Jigsaw stuff?
I think it's a bit of a stretch, though.
It is.
His offside coming back when he saw his mum at the end.
He got that pissed. He got left twice in his life.
Oh, true, yeah.
Instead of therapy, he just kills people now. That's how he copes with his trauma.
Right. So I'm gonna go through some of the comments now. So Mr. Reynolds says, no, leave it alone. Griffin Bryan, seriously, Bone Alone?
Okay.
Martin says, no more, do something new. Yep. Sequel only if Nick is in it. That's what Tree says. Adam says, I'd be up for a third one, but only if Macaulay Culkin was in it and done properly. See, I'm with Adam on this. I don't need it, but if you are going to do it, if you're going to do it properly, this for me is the only way you can do it. I'm not saying you need to do it. Zombie says any movie done properly would be good. Yeah, no, I hear that. Done properly. Hello to RPGM there.
Hey, BGM.
Hey, Pete.
Travels more with Jason. He's not sure. Adam responding further saying, but only if done well. Pete's Toys and Tings, possibly. Connor, the last Home Alone makes it really bad and subvert expectations. Zombie says, very professional, Nick. Lol. I don't know what I've done. I've always done something wrong, but yeah, I'm sure it was unprofessional, whatever I did. Adam saying, Top Gun Maverick, good example of where sequels can work. And I will just go back and say, I'm not sure if I said it earlier, Luke Reynolds, I'm not sure if I said hello to you properly earlier, but hello, mate, and thanks for coming along this evening. DTM Collectibles, leave them be, leave it as Home Alone 1 and 2, and let's be honest, we've seen how bad things can get if you carry them on. That's a very fair point from our DTM, from our Dave.
Yep.
Joe says, only if we can erase all the other sequels after Lost in New York. Yeah, it would have to be a complete retcon.
Yeah.
Quick hello to Lester San Jose from the Skeptics. Hello, mate. Good to see you this evening. Thanks for popping on in. What's Pod say? What's Pap say? But if they're home together, then technically they aren't alone. Very good point, sir.
Yeah, sorry,
Very
pal.
good point. GB, Culkin is coming tomorrow to do a screening in my general area. I got to work. Oh, that sucks. I'd love to go to that. I'd be so into seeing that.
That's awesome.
Dave's Dimensions. I want Macaulay to save his mother when she's trapped to have some lonely Xmas when the family are all celebrating with their own families when the family home is being robbed. Cool. Adam, I'm open to sequels. Jason, I can only watch 1 or 2. So I think, and Adam's got, we got to bring up the stats. If Adam's put stats, we have to bring the stats up. Adam, the stats man, is here, so he does the hard work, so I don't have to. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Adam says, I did a recent poll yesterday on Instagram. Nick, 87% preferred the first film over the second film. For it got just over 100 votes. I think that feels right. But what does the panel prefer? Okay, well, that's a great question, Adam, and I'm happy to run with that. So, although we don't need to dive really deep into it, and I'm going to bring Stu's comment up because he put it there. No more sequels, he says. Of the two films, ladies, which is your favourite? I know this is a Home Alone stream, Home Alone 1990, but which is your favourite between 1 and 2? Because we've established there's only 2 Home Alone films. Forget all the other nonsense.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the second one.
Okay.
Because I feel like the second one is actually more Christmassy. I don't actually think the first one's that Christmassy. I feel like it's just a film set at Christmas. The second one, I feel like you actually, as you're watching it, it feels Christmassy because it's New York, and New York does Christmas like nowhere else. And it's just constant lights, Christmas reminders everywhere. I just feel like it's a bit more magical feeling, but then I'm a Christmas person, so I kind of prefer that. Yeah,
absolutely fair. That's fair. Kat, where are you at with this?
I love both equally. I think the first one has its own magic with it, and it was brilliant. And I think the second one holds up just as well. They didn't just they made it where he can still get away with things. I mean, there's so many iconic scenes. Then you have Tim Curry in there in the mix with it. Like for a lot of sequels, it's like crash and burn with stuff. And I think it holds up just as well as the first one. So I love both of them. I could watch either one of them at a drop of a hat. So
Pam say you've obviously never been to a Christmas on the Death Star. So I'll say mine. Yeah. I'm in agreement with Kat here. I like them both equally. I really do. An interesting thing though, and saying about it not feeling Christmassy, and I'm not in any way saying you're wrong, Steph, but little fact I remembered, one of the reasons when they built the set for the house in the school, they picked a green and red palette to try and really convey the feeling of Christmas.
Yeah. I didn't get that though, but yeah.
But no, it just looked like an old 90s decoration to me. So yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I do agree the second one does feel more Christmassy.
I think it's just a bit more interesting as well, being in New York. Yeah, visually it's more interesting with everything that's going on, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, I love them both, but yeah, I prefer the second.
So Joe's saying she prefers the second because of the music. I'm not sure if I'd already read that. Mr. Reynolds, I prefer the first one, but I gotta say, some of the best traps are in 2. I die when Marv gets hit 3 3 times the sniper gun. Yeah. Because G's saying, I feel like the first had better traps. I don't disagree with that. But I almost feel like the second one just sort of ramped the traps up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they did recycle a lot of the same stuff. I mean, because when I said earlier, what's this? Pull the splinters out of your ass and off the fence, Nick and Kat, lol. Get off the fence.
No.
I genuinely love them. I genuinely love them both. It is so this year we had Home Alone recorded on our Skybox for the last few years, the same recording we had, and we've always watched it on that. Well, the last few years we have. And I went to watch it for this, and I was like, "Oh, damn! Our subscription or whatever's changed. Can't watch it." So I bought the DVDs this week, both of them. I had no hesitation doing so because I know that we will watch them time and time again. I mean, Jax has already watched it once this week, again this afternoon while I was snoozing through it because I'm getting old. Yeah, I love them all, but it's like when I said earlier, I feel the second one is just a remake. The second one sticks. The second one sticks very closely to the formula, but it changes it enough that you're happy with it. So, I saw
It's
the
what you
second one at the
expect from a
cinema.
Home Alone film, isn't it? You're not, they're sticking to what people are going to see it for, I guess.
Yeah.
What's this? Nick, Stu, not seen Home Alone 1 or 2. This has to be discussed. Lol, blowing my mind. Hang on. What's this?
What?
Who hasn't?
What? Stu's not
Stu?
seen the one. Stu.
What?
Well, I can't find that in the comments. What? Sorry, Adam,
didn't
clarify
even see
for us
that.
here. Clarify
Stu,
for us
you
here,
love
Adam or
Christmas.
Stu. Are we saying that Stu?
I found it.
Whoa!
I know. I'm so sorry I missed that. How did I miss that? Wow.
I'm taking away your admin rights right now.
Can I kick him out for 300 seconds?
No.
Can I ban him for 300 seconds?
Oh God, Adam laying the boot in. Adam laying the boot in. Stu said twice he's not seen them. Come on.
Oh,
I love being on this side of the argument. Usually I'm the one people are shouting at for hating things.
DTM. Jesus, Stu.
Spoilers for
Stu. Yeah. Oh man, it's such it's Stu. I just say to you, mate, just they're on Prime at the moment. Right? Tomorrow there is that Disney Plus. Yeah, you'll have Disney. You watch all the new Star Wars stuff. Tomorrow, here's your day. Sit down and unsubscribe, unfriend, unfollow. Tomorrow, Stu, there is a day for you there. There is 3.5 hours of your life that you will not regret. Home Alone 1 and 2. You and Georgie, sit down. Stu,
we need an explanation. If you're still in the chat, please explain yourself.
Because he's come to support. He's come to support us, hasn't he? He's,
Yeah, but why hasn't he seen them? Because usually, as a kid, you're like put in front of it, like you will like this movie.
Remember, he is considerably older than us.
I mean, well, if you did watch him on,
He would have been at the discotheque while we were kids.
the discotheque.
So,
Dude. Oh.
so other than, well, as Jeremy Clarkson would say, and on that bombshell, I feel we're getting towards the end of and almost time to start wrapping this up. But before we do so, I am going to say, is that I'll come to you first, Steph. Don't worry if you haven't. But if you have, is there anything else you want to say about the film? Anything you want to share? Do you want to lay the boot into Stu a little bit more? Either. It's all good.
No, I might throw Martin under the bus though. When I was watching it earlier, he did say that he found the very, very beginning credits a bit scary because it's that music that and then just a blank screen, and it is a little bit like, oh, this is a bit eerie. It is a bit.
No, it is. I agree with that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was it. I think everything else we've we've covered. So yeah.
Jojo, wow.
Oh, gee.
Maybe he's watched them but forgotten due to see. Wow. Wow. Jojo coming in. Lady Steph met Jojo last week, and you wouldn't think that something like that would come out of such a lovely person, would you?
No, she's wonderful.
There you go. And what's the detail? Discotheque. Stu partying back in the day whilst missing out the joy of Home Alone. It's our DTM.
Yeah.
PGM saying John Williams' soundtrack is awesome. I think it makes a movie. Yeah, we touched on the epic soundtrack earlier, and we all completely agree with that. PGM, absolutely fantastic music.
I quite like Palps's comment of remaking Home Alone but in Hobbiton.
Yes, I would watch that for sure. Wow.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
So Kat, is there anything else you want to say on the subject before we I'm just reading the comments before we start wrapping this up?
No, it's just I just love this so much, and when you're a kid, you have that imagination of wanting to do stuff, and Kevin did that. He threw a whole party at his house, with a little train set and a little puppeteering with the little. I don't know how he did it.
Mention that. That is incredible.
I know.
Isn't it?
I just thought of it. What a cool kid with an imagination. I wish.
Yeah.
I could have done something. I still wish I could have done something like that, but no, I think it's a fun movie, and I love watching it. So this has been fun for me.
Yeah, this film for me, there's two things that make me feel Christmassy each year. It's when I first hear Fairy Tale in New York by the Pogues on the radio. Whether you love it or hate it, that song just shouts as Christmas at me. And Home Alone, and I love this film. I love the second film. I've enjoyed having the chat with you guys. It's been it's been epic. So Kat, I think we've hit the end of this. I said creepy and I don't wear slippers.
He's trying to defend himself now.
No, I should have said it's my slipper. I tell him to get my slipper and to whack it.
Well, maybe he'll get his own this year,
Well, Martin, the thing is, Martin, you are only just like 1 or 2 rooms away from Steph. You could come in and defend. I got no problem if you want to come in and defend yourself before the stream's over. If you want to come on and defend yourself, mate, you're more than welcome to come on in. But
that's funny.
I bet he does wear slippers, doesn't he? He does.
It's now and again. Now and again. Yeah, when it's super old.
Are they like the proper old men ones that you get from like Marks and Spencers with like the little like leather
the loafer type?
Them? Yeah, the loafer type. Yeah, that's them. Oh dear, he's gonna be raging in here in a minute. So yeah, Kat. Anyway, so what have you got coming up for your channel? Anything coming up soon?
Yeah. So this coming Friday, the 20th, I have a very important puzzle off against Salacious Rum, and
you would better win that.
Rum can't count. Okay, he doesn't know how to do numbers. It's fine. But so he's going to be streaming it on his channel, and I'm going to be streaming it on mine. But we're going to have a head-to-head battle there, or may include vodka shots in there every 30 minutes. May not. We're still trying to figure out the rules with that. But yes. Looking forward to that. That's the big thing coming up next week for my channel.
Wicked. And awesome. Of course, anyone who doesn't, you all here follow Kat, but if you don't, get in the video description. You can find Kat, follow her, check her stuff out. She's Queen of Puzzles. Kilo Custom Squad. Hey Kat. Hi. Well, thanks for popping along. Yeah, so please do follow Kat if you don't already. Lady Stephanie, now I know you don't have your own channel, but you are an active member of this community. Is there anything that you've got coming up that you're doing soon, or that you want to plug, or any messages about world peace you want to dish out? This is your moment to shine.
No, I think it's just Lego studs. Every Sunday at 3:00 on Salacious Run stream. I kind of go on there every now and again and do some Lego. I think that might be it. That's coming up for me.
Okay,
So yeah,
excellent.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, no, thank you for coming on, and
Yes.
you have already picked a film for next year that you want to come on and just do on your own, and
Yes, I will do. Yeah.
she's already prepped for it. Met Kat, like she's already gone to so much effort for this, and I'm not going to give away what it is. Not
That's
now.
awesome. That's awesome.
But
I may or may not be wearing a wig. We'll see.
She's gone to a lot of effort. A
Oh,
lot of effort.
cosplay. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited then.
What's this from Mr. Reynolds? Steph, can you stream a live watch along of Home Alone with Martin? First few minutes, ideally.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we're doing a live stream of that now. After this, we'll do.
Oh yes,
stream.
Adam,
Yeah.
Nick, we need to ask. Oh, Adam, you are on the list, sir. You are on the list, and your film choice. Mwah. I'm not saying what his film choice is, but
Interesting.
fair play to you, mate. And and it's a film I love. That's all I'm saying. So we
Is it Top
got a few
Gun?
coming up. Right, Adam won't mind me saying this. Right, it's not Top Gun, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
It is
Oh.
not Top Gun.
That is a
Shocking.
shocker, actually.
But let's yeah, it's not Top Gun. Yeah, this one's gonna sideswipe people. They're gonna be like, holy what? Yep, and I support 100%, and I cannot wait to do this one. And mostly because Adam will be so well prepped for it that it will be like having Kat here. I won't have to worry about the facts or figures because he will know them. So it'll be excellent. No, I am looking forward to it, Adam. I have to say, Kat, Steph, you've both been awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kat, as always, for helping out and running with this now. You know, you've taken on doing even more of the stuff to help me out. Steph, you've been awesome. Thank you for coming on. You sort of didn't get much choice. I sort of said to you, didn't I? Got this stream. You should come on this one, shouldn't you?
You need to come on.
Well, I don't mind telling people. Steph said she was a little bit nervous, like doing one of these on her own. So I said, well, rather than just throw you in the deep end, will you come on and do this one with us? You like Home Alone? She said, yeah. I said, right, we'll get on here. Let's have a chat. That's what it's about. It's about having a chat with friends.
Yeah.
So, GeForce, APD, let's do true. Oh, yes. Yes. True Romance, GeForce. Write it down. Remind me. So, yeah, thank you to you girls. You've been awesome. You're always awesome. Steph, you've been brilliant. You genuinely have been brilliant. Loved having you on. Kat, you've been epic. Chat, you've been out in force this evening. You've had some cracking comments. You've all shown up. There's been loads. We were at nearly 40 in at one point this evening. I'm still at around 35 now. Bloody good show up, guys. So
thanks, everyone.
thank you for the support.
Yes.
Thank you for all the comments. If we didn't get to any of your comments, it's not because we didn't want to. It's just running these streams, you can't get to everything, but we do see them, we do read them, and we do appreciate you. As I said earlier, if you haven't already, if you enjoyed this, stick a like on it because apparently it's good for the channel. Make sure you follow Kat, and if you're not subscribed to me and you think you might want to watch me waffle a bit more bollocks again on another stream, then give us a sub. And with all that said, I'm gonna say thank you again to the panel. You've been excellent. Thank you again to the chat. And ladies, I'm going to say it's time to do the awkward wave while we wait for the stream to end. So bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Thank you everyone for coming. Bye. Bye.